A History of Violence from 2005 is a neo-noir thriller film directed by David Cronenberg, starring Viggo Mortensen, Maria Bello, Ed Harris, and William Hurt. Now, I'm feeling very under the weather today, guys. I apologize for that. I'm doing the best I can. I've got some stuff with my sinuses going on here, so I've never had anything going on with my sinuses in the summer, so I have absolutely zero idea where I picked it up from. But I didn't do a video yesterday, so I got to do a video today. We'll go ahead and get into the plot synopsis here. I'm going to read it off the back of the case, because these things always seem to explain it better than I can. And I've also got my notes here to help me stay focused, because I've got ADHD out the ass. So our plot synopsis here is: in this thrill-packed actioner, small-town diner owner Tom Stahl, played by Viggo Mortensen, finds himself a local hero after he successfully takes down two thugs during an attempted robbery. But his sudden celebrity status draws unwanted attention from the outside world, including Carl Fogarty, who's played by the great Ed Harris, and Richie Cusack, who's played by the great William Hurt, who insists that Tom is intricately tied to their past. Fogarty begins stalking Tom's wife, who's played by Maria Bello, and children, resulting in a bloody standoff in which Trump must protect his family. In which Tom must protect his family. Maybe this is a sign that I need to go back to bed. God, I'm leaving that in there because that's funny. Tom must protect his family from what is either a case of mistaken identity or a violent past. That's finally caught up with him. Like I said, maybe that's my cue. I just need to shut this camera off and go back to bed. But I'm not going to do that because I need to get a video out. So yeah, our story. Okay, I've got that out of my system. Our story here is very, very simple. It's a very simple, basic premise, and it's, I think, made to be deeper than it actually should be. I think this movie is much better than it actually should be. I actually think this is a great neo-noir thriller film. I'd even put it in my top 10 all-time favorite movies, not because I think it's the most detailed and intricate story. I think that it's just a very basic premise and done and knocked out of the fucking park. So basically, our story is we're following the character of Tom Stahl, or Joey Cusack, played by Viggo Mortensen, and he lives in this small, quiet town with his wife and his kids in Indiana. He's running this diner, and then these two robbers show up, who we actually see at the beginning of the film, where I can't remember if it's a store or it's like a motel, and they end up killing the receptionist and the owner, I think is who it was. Then they end up killing the little girl that was hiding in the back room, which is fucking evil too. Like, ugh. Well, these guys show up at the diner, and they want coffee now. Dude wants a piece of the lemon meringue pie. Then they decide to rob the place. Viggo Mortensen puts an end to that very quickly by beating the ever-living shit out of them and then killing them. Then the media comes out, and he becomes almost like a local celebrity, and news reporters are showing up outside of his house trying to get him to come out and do interviews. And then that's when these mobster guys, who's led by Ed Harris, show up at the diner, insisting that he is an ex-hitman who has had dealings with them in the past. Viggo Mortensen swears up and down that that's not the case. So this prolongs and persists until Viggo Mortensen decides to go to Philadelphia to confront his past, because he's realized, now I can't run away from this. My past has finally caught up with me, and it's revealed that he was a hitman at one time. And this kind of creates some family drama, whether or not they can accept him for who he used to be and still look at him as their husband, their father, what have you. And I just think this is a great film. I think that there is some themes of Christianity in here about becoming born again, which, I mean, I'm not like a fan of religion, or I'm not religious or anything. Religion actually kind of gets on my nerves when I talk about it, but I think it's done well here. Like, I think he does even make a point to bring up being born again. I don't know if it was through Jesus Christ or just him changing as a person. I do notice in the movie that he wears this cross necklace, so that might signify that he is somebody that is looking for repentance, has repented for his past sins, but his past sins finally catch up with him. I just think that this movie is really well done. I think it's a great. It's my favorite movie of David Cronenberg. I know I called him the great David Cronenberg, and I've always respected him, but I've never been the biggest fan of any of his movies. Like his sci-fi horror movies, I'm just not a fan of. This, to me, is actually my favorite from David Cronenberg. So, go ahead and get my notes here. So, yes, I kind of went into the themes. The diner scene, to me, I think was the most telling of who he was, because when those guys come in and try to rob that diner, he kills these motherfuckers. I mean, like, this is the one thing that kind of cues you into him being some kind of mobster, because he kills these guys like he's been killing people for 30 fucking years. Okay, this is the way he kills these guys. It's done in a way that somebody that's very experienced in killing, whether it be somebody like in the mob or in the military or something like that, would kill somebody. It wasn't just him just fucking doing everything off the cuff and doing everything he can to fucking kill people. Like, he is very, very skilled at killing these guys. He whoops these motherfuckers. So yeah, this scene in the diner is really one of the couple clues that you get that he might actually be this violent. He may have been this violent criminal in the past. The son, he gets into a fight at school with these two bullies that have been fucking with him for the first bit of the movie. And this kind of stemmed from a baseball game that occurred during gym class, where the one bully hit a pop fly in the outfield, and the son went and caught the ball, which, I mean, that's kind of the whole point of baseball, but whatever. It's taken as somebody that's played baseball for years. So yeah, he gets into a fight with these two bullies, beats the ever-living piss out of these two clowns, and then it gets so bad that his friend, the girl that he hangs out with, steps in and breaks up the fight. Then he leaves school, gets suspended, and he gets in trouble at home with his father. And him and his father, they have this confrontation, and it ends up with his father smacking him in the face, which that's another clue he might have been this violent person, because there's never any clues that he was violent before all this stuff happened. He made mention in the movie that he's a born-again person, and he does wear a cross, like a necklace, in this movie, which may indicate he might be somebody of Christ. He might be born again in Christ. That's another theme with this movie. Christianity is kind of a theme in this movie too. He might very well. He claims to be a born again person until his past finally shows up on his front doorstep. Literally, because there is a part where they fucking show up at his fucking house, and they have this big standoff in the front yard. And he ends up killing Ed Harris. Well, no, his son actually killed Ed Harris, but he killed the two bodyguards that were with Ed Harris. So he's in the hospital and confesses to his wife that, okay, like, the cat's out of the bag, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it, pretty much. I used to be this hired hitman in Philadelphia, and I have some unfinished business with these people, and that causes a big rift between him and his wife. Well, he goes home, obviously, and they have this very intense, violent sex scene on the stairs, which to me, I'll just be truthful with you, it is sexual violence. She's trying to get into it. I think she's trying to process it and understand that this is the person that she married, but then she's also has this it seems like she has this internal conflict. This is not the man that I married. This is not, I didn't marry what I thought was a mobster. Okay, if that makes sense. She was very, I think, like I said, she was having a moral dilemma of, I like having a man that can fucking kick ass and protect me, but this is not the man I married. I didn't marry a fucking mobster. So this ends up leading, all of this ends up having Viggo Mortensen go back to Philadelphia and confront these mobsters from his past, who is, one of them is played by William Hurt, and it's revealed that that is his brother, his older brother. So they have this long dialogue until all this shit fucking breaks out. There's a fight that breaks out, a very fucking brutal fight that breaks out. It's very violent. He punches a dude, he stomps a dude's fucking throat out and shit. It's pretty intense, man. And he finally ends up at the very end killing his brother. Then he returns home, and there's like this very, I don't know, it was very symbolic of, he comes home and his wife and his kids are at the dinner table having dinner, and he stands there for a second, then sits down, and the son ends up taking I think it was meatloaf or something like that, and that was his offering to his father, because in his mind, that's still his father. The way Maria Bello, the way she was behaving in this scene was very much, I cannot accept that this is who you are, or at least who you were. And I don't blame her, because, I mean, her husband is a fucking murderer, for crying out loud. So I think that this movie, there's a lot in it. Like, he clearly has changed in this movie. I don't want to say he's a bad guy, but at one time he was a bad guy. I mean, I guess technically when we find out everything we know about him, I guess he is a bad guy, but he sure as hell does not come off as a bad guy. And that's why I think this movie really falls into the neo-noir genre, because he is a very, like, cynical, flawed anti-hero type of person, and that's one of the characteristics for a neo-noir movie. That's one of the check boxes for a neo-noir movie. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought the ending was just very strong with it, and driving home its theme, its narrative. I really, to be truthful with you guys, recommend this movie. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I loved it. I think it's one of my all-time favorites. Tell me what you guys thought about it in the comments. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.